Good day, guys. Hope all is well. A little different format of the video here. I'm going to be doing a voiceover during most of it, especially the yoga portion. I just wanted to share some practices that I do through the week that you might not have seen before. I mean, I regularly share my workout footage. I guess you could say that's probably the bulk of what my vlogging is workout footage. But that's, for the most part, most of what you see. There is more that goes into my programs than just working out. And that noise was I threw a toy for the dog. So when I look at what I need to get done for the week, it all goes back to your goal. So what is your goal in the first place? Well, my goal is just optimizing health. To be honest, that at the end of the day, I want to optimize my health. Now, there's many facets to health. So, we want to cover multiple bases. So it's not just I'm training with weights 5 or 6 times a week or 3 times a week, full body, whatever you may look at. It's not that. There are other components to fitness. Flexibility being a huge one. Balance is a massive one as well. Cardiovascular training is probably the most important and the highest neglected, I would estimate, in men. But if your heart is not working efficiently, it's going to not only hold you back from your performance in the gym, but potentially hold you back from life at points. So cardio is extremely important. And other things, practices that may help your exercise would be meditation, and then recovery, a various number of recovery techniques. Just throwing things for the dogs. So the recovery techniques, I haven't shared any in the video here per se, but recovery techniques extremely important. So some of these that I use in my current programs would be cold water immersion, just getting in the pool. Now my pool has been and is quite cold, typically in like the mid 50s to 60s. So that's 10 to, let's say 14 degrees Celsius. It is quite cold. If you're in for 20, 30 minutes, it's not quite cryotherapy because it's not that cold, but it does have positive effects on reducing inflammation. So you do want to make sure that you're taking advantage of some recovery techniques and outside the box ones. So that would be one that I use. I use yoga, you can see here, as not only a recovery technique, but I use it to improve my flexibility, to improve my balance, and breath work. It's often a neglected portion of fitness is breath work. You can control a lot by influencing your breath. So breath work is rarely talked about. I think I rarely hear coaches talk about breath work, but this is something that I'm going to explore with you folks, future vlogging. So yoga is good for multiple aspects in not only recovery but enhancement. I know lots of really competitive athletes, they invest in yoga, invest their time in yoga, but not only that, the art itself is 5,000 years old. So there has to be some wisdom. If it's lasted the ages, there is some wisdom found in that. Some other recovery techniques would be, reducing your stress, quality of sleep, meditation. All of these things impact not only our performance as an athlete, our performance in the gym, our results in the gym, but also our results as a human. And like I said, my goal is not only to optimize my training, but it's to optimize my health. And we need to explore health as not a static thing. It's involves many facets. So like I said, not, so to speak, pigeonhole yourself in one position with, let's say, only weights, exploring other things. And something that I will touch on later is with my high intensity cardio that I have started integrating in more frequently. I've adapted, a CrossFit challenge in once or twice a week. I find this has really amped up my fitness level. These athletes are extremely fit, and they are extremely fit for a reason. Because they have to engage, and I don't mean everybody. It's not to say, like, the people that we see at the CrossFit Games are the elite of the elite. Okay, so not only are they were the best person at their local gym. I think they're called boxes. Not only were they the best person there, they were the best person in the region. And then not only were they the best person in the region, they were the best person in that region. And then the nationals, and then they were qualified. I think it's changed a little bit now, but it's the same kind of like breakdown as like a professional NHL player. They're not only the best player in the town, they're the best player in the region, they're the best player in the province, and then they get called up. So, these people are the fittest in the world. We should be able to take something from that. Why are they that way? Well, it's because of their training modalities. Now, you can't all of a sudden just jump into a training modality as intensely as that and expect to be able to perform at a level even close to that. These folks are always, they have teams helping them, stay in shape. Same with bodybuilders, elite level bodybuilders. It's not them. They have teams in place. So, when we're designing our training methods, we want to look at every aspect of everything. It's not a one and done. So you want to try to explore all the fields. So with yoga, I think it's highly beneficial. It leaks into everything. Now here you can see me doing a warm-up circuit that I started and incorporated. Now, Timothy Ferriss has a book called Tools of Titans, and I highly recommend you getting this book if you are interested in like learning about practices that some of the most successful people in the world have going on in their routines. The guy who pioneered kettlebell training, Pavel Tetsui, he recommends doing Cossack squats, kettlebell swings, halos, and Turkish get-ups, which all of you have just seen me perform. And I've been doing them, quite frequently as a warm-up. It's the movement patterns that I want to really grease the groove on, and a high frequency of that will increase my efficiency at doing those things. And those are just very effective movement patterns, especially for athletes. After that, I'm showing you a leg day. So I'm starting off with front squats, and I go fairly heavy. I worked up to 210 on this, and I feel like my range of motion is going quite well. Something that I have changed before the lockdown, I was doing low bar squats. I was doing lots of powerlifting. I had to basically throw that to the wind because I don't have enough weight to do powerlifting in the house, as well as I did have a weight loss goal or a body recomp goal that I had that I wanted to get to by mid-June. That I wanted to get down to 195. I hit that goal well ahead of schedule, but when I was doing the powerlifting, I wasn't really getting cardio in. I was spending all my energy working out, lifting heavy weights. I wasn't feeling that good. I was getting strong, but I wasn't. Been training legs for about 40 minutes. I'm going to attempt the WoD Nancy today. Never done this before. I haven't barely done any CrossFit WoDs, but I was reading Tim Ferriss, Tools of Titans, and it was mentioned in one of the takeaways that if you want a hard workout, try the workout Nancy. Now it's 5 rounds of 400 meter run, 15 overhead squats at 95 pounds. So I'm gonna head up to a track up the road after I'm finished this with some BCAAs and the barbell, and try to get it done within under 15 minutes. I looked at the times of this one before I started, and elite is under 9, and then in advanced would be 10 to 13, and then intermediate would be like 15. So I think I could probably get it done in that. So I'm just gonna give it my best. And today I was supposed to do at least a 2-mile run, so it'll equate to about a mile when I'm done. Actually, no, it'll equate to a little bit over a mile, but the overhead squats will make up for it. So enjoy. So I had made the decision that I wanted to lose the weight and get back down, because I always feel the best in the 190s. And as far as my BMI goes, that's where it is the most healthy, is when it's in that zone. When I'm in the 190s, it gets me around like 24. I have a bigger frame, I have a lot of muscle. But at the end of the day, our heart doesn't really discriminate. It just looks at the amount of tissue that's on a body. It doesn't say, well, you know, this 280 pound man is 8% body fat, so that's fine. You can be 280 pounds. His genetic limit initially, because if you're 280 pounds at 8% body fat, you're on steroids. You're over your genetic limit. Your genetic limit might be, if they're 280, let's say it's 200 pounds. So they're 80 pounds over that. That's putting a massive amount of strain on the heart tissue. So your heart doesn't discriminate against tissues. So yes, there are benefits to, having, muscle over fat at the end of the day, but, it definitely puts a strain on your system. So I chalk that up to like one of the reasons I feel a lot better. I'm not carrying as much weight around. I feel better. I feel lighter. I have more energy. My sleep is better. Bodily functions just overall better. So that is one of the reasons I wanted to really get down. And, I'm not getting any younger. And I just feel full of life more so than if I'm like over 230 pounds. Okay guys, so I'm just headed up to the field. Disclaimer, I have not done overhead squats in a long time, and when I did them before, I wasn't very good at them, so I think we might see some bad form here. If the form is trash completely and they don't feel comfortable, I won't do them. All right, so here's the Nancy workout. It is 5 rounds, 400 meter run, 15 overhead squats. I haven't done overhead squats like I said, so I tried them out at home. They didn't feel too bad, so I took the belt up, just better safe than sorry, and hit the field. And thank you to Aaron for taking the videos. Now, this workout was tough. I didn't know what I was walking into. I did finish in a decent time. I think I finished at 13:12. But, I was guessing it'd be 15. It sounds a lot easier than it is. But by the end of it, my eyes were just on fire from the sweat. I have my head is shaved, so I don't have any hair, keeping the sweat out of my eyes. And I have to say, like, that's one of the first times that I know that my eyes were just burning. I almost needed to dump my BCAAs over my head, and I got in the pool when I got back. But yeah, so like I'm pretty efficient as running, but the overhead squats after that leg workout were pretty brutal. And I think that I had strained some muscle, because there's muscles that I'm using here that I never really engage this way. I don't go to overhead lockout position with almost anything, and that's a pretty wide snatch grip. I remember feeling my hands were just like my wrists were sore from holding the bar. But I do challenge you folks to get outside your comfort zone and try a challenge workout like this. They are quite fun when they're done. And I was holding the phone up there. My heart is maxed. I was in the 172s, 173s. But don't get your heart rate that high right away. I feel like I'm pretty fit in that way, so I have no problem doing that. But if you're a beginner, this is not a beginner workout. And I think that might be one of my only criticisms of people who potentially are looking to get into that kind of sport would be just know your limitations right off and don't use it as a challenge. Just try to get it done. Anyway, folks, I hope you really enjoyed the workout. Please like, share, and subscribe.